Good afternoon, my dear students. So today's lesson is about George Bernard Shaw. So his biography. He was born on 26 July in 1856, and he died in 2nd November 1950. He was born on July 26 in 1856 in Dublin, Ireland. And he was in 1876. He moved to London, where he wrote regularly but struggled financially. And in 1895, he became a theatre critic for the Saturday Review and began writing plays of his own. And his play, Pygmalion, was later made into a film twice, and as a screenplay he wrote for the first version of it won an Oscar. Best known for Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw wrote more than 60 plays during his lifetime and was awarded the Nobel Prize of Literature in 1925. George Bernard Shaw facts. George Bernard Shaw, he died on November 1950 at St. Lawrence, United Kingdom. Residence at the time of the award, United Kingdom. Prize motivation was for his work, which is marked by both idealism and humanity, stimulating satire, often being infused with a single poetic beauty. Field was a drama, language in English. George Bernard Shaw received his Nobel Prize after 1 year later in 1926. Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw. This is Pygmalion, written in 1912 by George Bernard Shaw and a post-performed 2 years later, and tells the story of Henry Higgins, a professor of phonetics speech who bets his friends that he can pass off a poor plow girl with a Cockney accent as a duchess by teaching her to speak with an upper-class accent. Why should I care? There is a reason why Pygmalion been turned into a movie and a musical with a twist. It is a Cinderella story, complete with slippers. Also, in this case, there is ruin, not worn. There is even a ball, well, maybe not a ball, but a couple of parties. And there is the mother in there too. Although we never see her, problem is there no Prince Charming, and these fairy tales got no happy ending. Influence. Pygmalion remains Shaw's most popular play. Ironically, Pygmalion has transcended cultural and the language barriers since its first production. Contribution to theatre. Shaw's plays were first performed in 1890s, and he wrote 63 plays. He is known to have written more than 250,000 letters. Coaching inspires superb communication. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. George Bernard Shaw. The single best problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. George Bernard Shaw. So, the Nobel Prize in Literature 1925 and the award Oscar for writing the adapted script in 1938 Pygmalion. Schools and the schoolmasters. He later Road where prisons and the turnkeys in which children are kept to prevent them disturbing and shepherding their parents. In 1881, for the sake of economy and increasingly as a matter of principle, he became a vegetarian. Vegetarian. The mid of 1880s marked a turning point in Shaw's life, both personally and professionally. He lost his virginity, had two novels published, and began a career as a critic. He had been celebrated until his 29th birthday, when his shyness was overcome by Jane Patterson, a widow some years. His tenure and the affair continued not only smoothly for 8 years. Shaw's sex life has caused much speculation and debate among his biographers, but there is a consensus that the relationship with Patterson was one of his few non-platonic romantic liaisons. In 1898, as a result of overwork, Shaw's health broke down. So he was nursed by Charlotte Payne Townshend. Let's continue. In the previous year, she had proposed that she and Shaw should marry, and he had declined, but when she insisted on nursing him in a house in the country, Shaw, concerned that this might cause a scandal, agreed to their marriage, and this took place on 1st June 1898 in the register office in Covent Garden, and the bride and the bridegroom were both aged 41. Bernard Shaw was fond of boxing and even played in the competition. This was told in detail. Journalist and writer Benny Green made his book Champions of Shaw and published in 1979 in London. Shaw has performed at middleweight. He died at the age of 94 of renal failure, precipitated by injuries incurred when falling while pruning a tree. He was cremated at Golders Green Crematorium on 6 November 1950s, and his ashes mixed with those of Charlotte were scattered along footpaths and around the statue of St. John in their garden. Shows let's continue. Since Shaw's death, scholars and the critical opinion about his works has varied, but he has regularly been rated among British dramatists second only to Shakespeare. Analysts recognize his existent influence on generations of English language playwrights. The word Shavian has entered the language as encapsulating Shaw's ideas and his means of expressing them. By the time of Shaw's birth, his mother had become close to John Lee, and had been biological father. Shaw retained a lifelong obsession. The Shaw's house was often filled with music, with frequent gatherings of singers and players. In 1862, Lee and the Shaws agreed to share a house, and the Shaw was a sensitive boy, and found the less celebrate parts of Dublin, shocking and distressing, and was happy at the cottage. Lee's students often give him books which the young Shaw read avidly. Thus, as well as gaining through musical knowledge of choral and operatic works, he became familiar with the wide spectrum of literature. Between 1865 and 1871, Shaw attended 4 schools, all of which he hated. His experience as a schoolboy left him disillusioned with formal education. Schools and the schoolmasters he later wrote were prisons and a torn case in which children are kept to prevent them disturbing and chaperoning their parents. In October 1871, he left school to become a junior clerk in a Dublin firm of land agents, where he worked hard and quickly rose to become head cashier. During this period, Shaw was known as George Shaw. After 1876, he dropped the George and styled himself Bernard Shaw. In June 1873, Lee left Dublin for London and never returned. A fortnight later, Bessie followed him. The 2 girls joined her, and the Shaw's explanation of why his mother followed Lee. Early in 1876, Shaw learned from his mother that Agnes was dying of tuberculosis. He resigned from the land agents and in March traveled to England to join his mother and Lucy at Agnes' funeral. He never again lived in Ireland and didn't visit it for 29 years. Initially, Shaw refused to seek clerical employment in London, and his mother allowed to him live free of charge in her house in South Kensington. But nevertheless needed an income. He had abandoned teenage ambition to become a painter, and hadn't yet thought of writing for a living, but Lee found a little work for him. For the next 4 years, Shaw made a negligible income from writing and was subsidized by his mother. In 1880, Shaw began attending meetings of the Theatrical Society, whose objective was to search for truth in all matters affecting the interests of the human race. Political awakening, Marxism, socialism, and fabric society. On 5th September 1882, Shaw attended the meeting at the Memorial Hall, Warrington, addressed by the political economist George Henry. At reading a tract via the many poor issued by the recently formed Feminine Society, Shaw went to the Society's next advertised meeting on 16th May 1884. He became a member in September, and before the year's end he had provided the Society. From 1885 to 1889, Shaw attended the fortnight meetings of the British Economic Association. The mid of 1880s marked a turning point of Shaw's life, both personally and professionally. He lost his virginity, had 2 novels published, and began a career as a critic. He had been celebrated until his 29th birthday, and when his Chinese was overcome by Jin. So also there is a reason why female has been turned into Bilby, a musical and a movie musical with a twist. So, my dear students, at home you must write down all the actors. Okay, thank you.